Welcome to the Black Belt Business Podcast. My name is Matthew Brenner, and today I'm really excited because I am with a Olympian and Victoria here. And Victoria, how do you say your last name? I don't want to mess it up.
Stambaugh.
Stambaugh.
Stam.
Okay, I was going to say it like that, but that was real risky.
Oh yeah.
And she competed in the Tokyo Olympics in 2020, so she is an Olympian. So that's who you're going to hear from today. She competed in the lowest weight class, which is 49 kilos, so about 110 pounds. She's been competing with the Puerto Rican Taekwondo national team since 2011. She's got a school out in Texas. And now she's traveling all over, being, quote, a little nomad, I think is what he said to me earlier, and doing acting and stunt work. So she's got a lot of things that she's working on. Today, we're going to hear an Olympian's perspective. We're going to talk about women in martial arts. So, Victoria, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So we talked about this before we got on here. So that's the lowest weight class is about 110 pounds.
Yeah, it's actually technically 107 pounds. So
107
I
pounds.
would typically be weighing in at 106 pounds.
So do you cut weight for that sort of thing, or is that just you're
Yeah, I mean,
walking around?
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you see me now, like I've gained like for my walking around weight, like 10 pounds at least.
Okay.
So like my walking around weight was typically like 113 pounds. So yeah, it was a drastic change like once I decided to stop competing earlier this year. Like just gaining, all the weight and feeling like, whoa, this is yeah, it felt bad, but as time went on, I realized, wow, I feel really good. I feel super healthy. But yeah, so I would definitely have to cut weight for that weight class. I think most people do.
You say you feel bad. You feel bad like, oh, I'm not as like lean as I was before, or you feel bad physically.
Oh no, yeah, I think it's more mentally. Yeah, it's more
Oh, okay.
mental. Like when you fight for so long and fight in a certain weight class for so long, like I've fought in that weight class since I was 13 years old. So
Oh,
like
no.
when you've been in that weight class in that weight area for so long, mentally, like you're gonna be, kind of messed up if you're, anywhere out of that range that you're supposed to be. Because for so long it's like, no, you have to stay down, stay down, stay down. And if you're high, then bad you, you're fat, you need to lose weight.
Hmm.
So yeah, so for a lot of my life I had to deal with that, but it feels super freeing the past couple months of like just not it's not that I don't care, it's just that I've freed myself from um having that pressure mentally, like, oh, don't eat too much because you're gonna gain weight, you have to stay low. So it's freeing mentally to be able to just be me and eat when whatever. But I'm just not an unhealthy person, so
Hmm.
I don't eat bad food. I just yeah, I just eat a normal diet.
So is it common for coaches in the Olympic national team, I guess the Taekwondo team, to cut weight before fights, just like any other fighting league or competition? That they always, I didn't think about Taekwondo cutting weight before.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like it goes hard. It goes, so there's a 5% rule. They try to eliminate people cutting from, say, for example, 125 pounds all the way down to 107 pounds, which what I compete at. So what they did is they did a 5% rule where the day of competition, you have to be within 5% of your weight class. So for example, for me, that's 113 pounds. So I know I have to stay, kind of naturally around 113 so that on fight day, I can weigh in at 113 and fight at 113. So I can't like make 107, 106, the day before, and then the next day go up to 120 pounds. It's not allowed. So it's definitely been a crazy journey doing that. um to be honest, like I don't think a lot of the things are healthy. But when you're like me, for example, I'm 5'4" and I consider myself a pretty average height, but in the sport of Taekwondo, all the females and males are so tall. Like if I'm not fighting at 107 pounds and I go up to the next weight category, I'm just too small to even be competitive. So, in order to be competitive in Taekwondo, you have to have a tall frame and very slender and built. So, yeah, so like I had to fight at that weight category in order to be competitive.
Is cutting? I've never done it before. I've never had to fight for a competition or anything.
Hmm.
Besides, not at least not weighted, just like local tournaments, which is obviously not even the same thing as what you're doing.
Hmm.
So, what it is that miserable to cut weight? Do you not look forward to it?
It's a mindset thing for me. Like, when I was younger, obviously I didn't, you know, when my teens and I didn't. It was like torture for me, but I love Taekwondo so much, so I just thought it was part of it. But once I got older and mature, I switched my mindset. It's kind of crazy and said like, no, I actually love starving myself. Like, but
Oh
it
my
is something
God.
like I had to do like a mind switch. Like, I know I love this feeling. Like I'm, you know, getting super lean. I'm fasting. I'm eating super healthy. So it was a lifestyle that I had to kind of like tell myself to love because of the love of the game. And but there's honestly something very very rewarding at the end of the day, going to competition and making weight. It's just like a huge goal that you've accomplished, you know, because you've put into practice for months, you know, that discipline of eating well, eating healthy, and then when weigh-in time comes, you make your weight and you do feel accomplished in a way. So
Mm. And do you have like a nutritionist you follow, or do you just track your calories? How do you do that?
yeah, I mean, for so long, my whole teens and early 20s, I've had nutritionists. So at that point, like, I know what I'm doing, you know, by the age of 25, like, I'm very experienced. So I know exactly what I should be eating, how much I should be eating, all that. You know, as I got older, it's just something I learned through so much experience.
Do you track your calories? Or do you have a certain calorie goal?
Honestly, the best way to lose weight, if you want to like be super precise in the timeline, it's track the calories. Like once you, because it's all a numbers game really, like with losing weight. So once you decrease a certain amount of calories per day or a week, then you're for sure going to lose this amount of pounds, for example. So yeah, it was just tracking calories a lot, and then it got to the point where you know I can track my calories for a month, and then the next month I already know exactly what eating regimen I need to be on in order to keep that up.
Yeah, and I've tracked calories too. I am right now, just because like I wanted to be extra lean for the summer,
Nice.
and it's obviously not fun to do. Like it's not fun to weigh your
Work.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot of like anxiety around it. Like you have, I have like food anxiety, right? Where it's like, oh, where am I going to be later? I got to make sure I have food with me. If not, what am I going to eat? And then like it could become all encompassing sometimes. But like you said, the more you do it, the easier it gets because you kind of eat a lot of the same foods,
Yeah,
right? Like,
exactly. So now you know exactly what you need to be doing for the next however long you want to do it for. Yeah.
yeah, and if you're not sure how many calories to eat, like there's so many calorie counters online, right? And what I always recommend for people, even because I don't think it's a sustainable thing, like you're not going to count calories your whole life, like that'd
Mm,
be miserable,
mm.
right? But I always recommend people who've never done it do it for 30 days, just
Yeah,
of your life. Like just commit to 30 days,
that's a good
write it
idea.
out. You're not going to do it exactly. There's a learning curve involved because
Mm-hmm.
it's like not easy to do. But then, like once you do it, you'll actually know what you're eating and how much you're eating.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Right.
think people will be surprised how much is in everything they eat. Because every time I do it, I'm like, God damn it, I can't eat that. Oh, I can't eat that. Oh, but like I can eat a lot of shrimp, or I can eat a lot of white meat chicken or tuna, or like there are ways that you can still eat a lot of food, especially if you eat just uh, like whole nutritious foods and not feel like hungry, right? Because you're still eating a lot of volume but lower calorie, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I went I just went 60 days not having it was like just like a challenge for me for fun without having sugar or any processed sugar. So I could have fruit, I could have anything that's like natural, but I couldn't have anything like a cookie or a cake. And it like reset my taste buds where now if I had if I have like a fresh piece of fruit, like a plum or a peach or something or mango, it tastes amazing. It's like the greatest thing ever. And yesterday I had my first piece of I had a piece of pie. That was the first sugar I had. It was like key lime pie, and I thought I was gonna pass out in heaven. It was so good.
Mm.
Uh, so you're obviously been involved in martial arts and Taekwondo for a really long time since you were a kid. Did you think you were going to compete as like an Olympic athlete when you were a kid? Like, at what point were you like, all right, I'm going to go for this to be in the Olympics?
Yeah, when I first started around, well, 7 years old, technically, my mindset wasn't anything. I didn't even know what the Olympics were. So it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. If anything, my motivation to continue in martial arts was watching Jackie Chan films and Jet Li
Yeah.
films, because I was like, wow, I want to be like them one day. And I actually, in my mind, I not only be like them, but I wanted to be like in the movies one day. So it was like just a little kid dream of dreaming way too big kind of thing. And so as time went on, obviously, like that wasn't something that I kept pursuing, but it was still a dream. Like I always still wanted to be like Jackie Chan and Jet Li, and on the big screens one day. But once I turned about 14, made the junior national team, um, I started seeing the Olympics and the outlet and the path to go to the Olympics. And by 15 years old, after I made the USA national team as at 15 years old for Team USA, I said, okay, this is it. This is what I'm going to the Olympics. I'm going to the Olympics, whether it's London 2012 or whenever it is, I'm going to the Olympics. So that was when I decided my passion and goal in life.
Yeah. Did your parents encourage that too, or did you encourage them that you wanted to do it? How did that work?
No, they encouraged me heavily because they saw the skill and potential that I had in the sport. I was doing really well. It was, I the past 2 years I won gold at nationals. So I was just, dominating really in my divisions. And so they saw the potential of me being able to make junior national team and then senior national team, and then doing so well at only 15 years old, making the adult national team. They're like, you got this, Victoria. Like, the Olympics, are very much a possibility, and you'll do it. So they supported it and they encouraged me, because there was a time like when I was 13 years old that I kind of didn't want to do Taekwondo anymore. I wanted to stop. I wanted to just hang out with friends, and they were like, "No, Victoria." They didn't force me. They were just like, "Victoria, you're not like other kids that just go and play outside all day. Like, you're different. You have to take that responsibility and do something with that." So they really encouraged me that, um, dare to be different and dare to dream and be and go against the grain. So that was at 13 years old.
Is that
I
something
turned
you think you were born with, or is that something you think you developed to that
I
age?
definitely always wanted to be different when I was younger. Like I always wanted to kind of go. I mean, I did martial arts. No one did martial arts at school, so that's super different already. But to go to the Olympics one day, that's even more different. No one's thinking that in my high school. In my school, like no one's trying to do that. So, yeah, I think my parents told me I was different, in a good way, obviously. Like I was always very competitive with the guys growing up. I grew up with three brothers and my dad and obviously my mom. But yeah, so always since I was younger, I felt different because I was that girl keeping up with the boys.
Cool. Did your brothers fight in Taekwondo also?
Yeah, they're all black belts.
Oh, very cool. Are you the only one that actually went the Olympic route or got that
Yeah,
far?
yeah, they all kind of
Oh,
stopped
damn.
around like early teens.
Nice. So do you
Yeah.
like show off at like family meetings? Like I guess I'm the only one that got the Olympic level. You guys were cute. You got black belts. You did won some competitions, but like, I'm way
No,
ahead of
not
you
at all.
guys.
Their life really worked out for them. So my
So was
my
this?
youngest brother actually is graduating from law school this Saturday, so we're really proud of him.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So were you competing in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I switched over to Puerto Rico at 17 years old. So until 17, I was competing for Team USA on national team for them. And then once I heard that they were not taking my weight category for the London Olympics, I started looking at other routes to still pursue it. And I was spotted at a competition by the president from the Puerto Rican Olympic or Federation, excuse me, and he found out that I had Puerto Rican family. And so he reached out to me and invited me to team trials. And I said, why not? Let's try it. I know Team USA isn't taking my weight category for good reasons, obviously. I had knee surgeries years before, or like years leading up to the selection process. So
Right.
I was out as a good candidate, anyways. So it's understood. So yeah, I went that route because Team Puerto Rico made sure to let me know that they didn't have their team selected for the London Olympics. And end up, I went to Puerto Rico, made the national team, competed. I ended up uh, injuring my knee again, ACL meniscus, and needing another surgery. Actually, that led to having 3 surgeries in 1 year. So I've had a total of 6 knee surgeries, by the way.
I
But
saw on your website. I was gonna ask about that. There's like
yeah,
45, like it was like all these like lists of injuries. I'm like, oh my God, like how
yeah.
many did you say? 16 surgeries?
No, 6 knee surgeries, and I have like 17 scars, about 17 scars on my knees. So,
Oh my
a
gosh,
lot of
all lower
people,
body.
all lower body, all knees, all knees. And a lot of people, they don't realize that about me because I do everything so well and I'm blessed and I feel healthy and I'm rocking and rolling still and I'm moving and grooving. So people don't realize all the mess that I've gone through physically,
Hmm.
but still there.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. And this is all like throughout your teenage years when you're getting these crazy
Yeah,
injuries.
so my first surgery was at 16 and my last surgery was at 25.
At what point when you're getting these surgeries, there had to be a point where you were second guessing yourself. You're like, "Ah, forget this. This is
Oh yeah.
ridiculous." Like,
Yeah, especially in 2012 when that one happened, I knew it was the ACL meniscus because when I was 16 years old, again before London, I tore my right ACL, so I was out for that process. To try and qualify myself for Team USA. And then went to Puerto Rico, ended up tearing the other ACL meniscus. And when that happened, I knew for sure what happened. I knew it was ACL. It was meniscus as well, which I didn't know about, which is even worse. So at that point, I told myself, I remember like even like crying out to God, like, why is this happening? I'm done. Why would you allow this to happen? I'm done. That's it. That's it for me. And then I remember very shortly after, I had someone come up to me that I really respected and told me, "Hey, don't give up. Come back. Come back. We believe in you." And so even that little like word of encouragement at that moment in time, it actually really stuck with me and it made me believe like, okay, if others believe and see that I can still come back, and I feel like that's my purpose to come back and persevere. I'm gonna do it. Let's get it done.
were these injuries during competition or
Yeah.
training?
It was during competition. These beginning ones were competition, and then my last one, no, oh, my last one was during the Pan Am Games, so that was competition. But I had only one of them during training.
Hmm.
So yeah, mostly
So
during comp.
how did you juggle being a kid, like your teenage years, and competing for the Taekwondo and
It
trying to
was
make the
pretty
Olympics?
insane. Yeah, like I think I owe a lot to the high school that I went to. I went to a private school, and I was telling my friend just the other day, like if it wasn't for the high school I went to, I probably wouldn't have been able to do what I did. But they literally would tell me, like, Victoria, whatever you learn in 10 days traveling abroad is more than you'll learn in the whole year here at school. So
Wow.
go. And they supported me like traveling, going to all these competitions all around the world. because they knew that I was doing something bigger. I wasn't going on vacation. I was doing something
Right.
bigger, and then they knew that my goal was the Olympics, so they really supported me. Like my high school was always like behind me, like go Victoria, and celebrating my wins and victories and sharing them. So I think and it was a private school, and it was very small, so I think that's honestly like the way I was able to get through high school is just the school I went was very supportive.
Yeah, and it's awesome they were so accommodating.
Yeah,
I
it's
only a private school, I feel like, or a good one would actually do that.
yeah, it was amazing. So, yeah, if I went to any other school, I don't think it would have been able to happen that way. But and then also like I had a great relationship with my friends. They all knew my mindset. They knew my focus. They respected that, and they supported me so heavily. So I had some of the best girlfriends that would support me and knew that I couldn't hang out all the time. Like they would hang out together. They would still ask me to hang out, but they always knew the answer. And so that's why I love them so much, they were
Did
very
you ever feel
supportive.
bad about that?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. But
Like guilt?
yeah, no, I definitely would feel bad, but um at the end of the day, like I wanted to do this so badly. It's like, at the end of the day, you got to do what your heart desires, and if going to training sounds so much more desirable and fun, then I'm not saying like hanging out with friends wasn't fun. It's just that's how much I desired that goal. It's like, no, I'd rather go to training and pursue my dreams than, go hang out tonight.
Hmm. So, did you move to Puerto Rico?
I did. I moved like just time on and off, like 2 months here, 2 months there, kind of thing for years, pretty much. But no, I didn't. They didn't never made me like move permanently. I would just go move out there and train with them, and then come back, and then go back, and then go back, come back, all that. So yeah.
Was one team more competitive than the other? Like, was the Puerto Rican team not as competitive as the U.S. team, or vice versa, or kind of the same, just different weight
Honestly,
classes?
like in my weight class, like there's no, yeah, it was the same. I mean, yeah, I've beaten, USA national team members time and time over again. So and I was on Team USA. So it wasn't like, I went to Puerto Rico because I wasn't good enough to make Team USA. I mean, I did that my whole life. It was more of the opportunity route for me because Team USA wasn't taking my weight class. And they have not taken my weight class since the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. They have not taken the 49 kilogram weight category since. They've only focused on the heavier weight categories, which is like 125, 145, and over 155, something like that. So there is no chance and opportunity for me in the Team USA route. I'm not that big. I don't weigh that much. So because I got the opportunity with Puerto Rico, they selected my weight category time and time again because I was the most competitive athlete for them.
Hmm. My sister, she was on the show American Gladiator. Do you know that
Hmm.
show?
Hmm.
So kind of big like steroid up gladiators and try to prevent them from completing obstacles. And she was the smallest competitor in the show ever, like 20 years or 25 years or something.
That's
So
so cool.
yeah, so I went to LA for the taping. It was like the renewal of the show that happened maybe 10 years ago. They had like a comeback, but they did a couple extra episodes. I got to meet like Hulk Hogan. It was pretty cool.
So cool.
And she was a boxer, so she was like a badass.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. So you said earlier, you mentioned something about looking up to Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan,
Jet Li and Jackie Chan.
Jet Li, Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Uh, Did you ever think to yourself, like, why is there no like female martial artist to look up to? Like, why is it just all guys? Did that ever come to your mind when you were a kid, or you didn't really think about it that much?
I didn't think about it that much. And it might be just because I grew up with so many guys and doing what I did, like it was only guys. And so I was used to being like the weird only female doing whatever I was doing, whatever that is, whether it was like soccer or basketball, whatever. Yeah, it didn't really, it wasn't a thing for me like, oh, there's no female martial artists. Yeah. It was
Hmm.
just me like, yeah, not comparing sex at all. It was just me like wanting to be me and yeah, not really think
Hmm.
about that.
So a while back, I went to interview people for one of my martial arts schools, and I was, put like an ad online and was interviewing candidates, getting emails, and out of like 90 something people that I interviewed or, received their applications looked through, only maybe it was like five or six were female. Like there were so few options. And it was very disheartening to me because within our schools, so I own three schools, but we have within our school system, within our franchise, we have 30, right?
Huh.
And within our franchise, we have tons of female students and tons of female instructors. I would say it's about 50-50. In fact, there might even be more females. And our co-founder is female, right? So it's like I feel like if you have that if the leadership is female, like it's more inviting,
Yeah.
right? Like you see, uh, and so and when I went to get people from the outside to recruit, there was just so few options. And I was like so annoyed because our female instructors we have are amazing. I don't want a school to be dominated by male instructors. I like to have a balance. I need a little girl to look up to another female instructor. She's not gonna look up to me the same way or someone else,
Hmm.
right? So my question for you is how do we get more females involved in martial arts?
I think we're doing it. Honestly, I think we're showing that, and it might sound really weird, but hey, if females are about this, then it is what it is, whatever. I think we're showing that it's sexy or it's attractive to do a fighting sport or a martial art. Like it's attractive as a female doing a fighting martial art, whatever it is. So I think that's attracting more martial artists to be a princess, but also a badass.
Mm,
I think that's honestly the way to do it because I think in the past it's always been marketed as like manly. Don't be manly, manly do fighting, men do fighting and manly things
yeah.
and
Don't be a
females
sissy.
are princess. Yeah, you're a
Yeah.
princess and you just do volleyball and things that are cute for girls to do. But I think like it's now shifting to where like it's attractive to be strong and have muscles as females. When I was little, that wasn't a thing. When I would see a female with muscles, that was very, very rare for me to see as a little girl growing up. You didn't see
Mm.
that a lot. Now it's like you see those females walking around, they're buff and they're, CrossFit bodies, all
Yeah,
that.
I was about
It's
to say
amazing.
CrossFit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I think the more that we develop a culture where it's attractive for females to be strong, more females are gonna start joining it.
Mm. Do you think it's becoming more attractive or becoming more common because of like social media? Because I know that like you're, young female martial artist, but also showing that feminine side. And there's some other female martial artists that are doing a lot of that too. And I remember when I was growing up, I never saw that, right?
Yeah,
And like a lot
exactly.
of my students, I'll send them, like in our schools, I'll send them your account and I'll send them like Rena's account. I'll be like, hey, like check her out. She's freaking awesome. Like she's so cool, right? Like with
Yeah.
these old martial arts videos, but also like not trying to like hide behind like a square manly gi and like be like super serious mask. Like there, you show that feminine side, right? Which is cool.
Yeah, I do.
Uh,
And I don't try to overdo it because it's honestly not my thing and I actually don't like that.
mm,
I'm not a fan of it at all. I actually am very, very anti because it's like, no, it's about being confident and not like showing off your body when you're like doing a kick or whatever, showing off your skill, and that's what's attractive. It's the confidence that it brings to a female. That for me.
mm. So are you against like you're not for, let's say, a female martial artist showing more of their feminine side also with their warrior side, or you just think like the skill should be the thing that's highlighted more than the
Yeah, I
or
think
whatever
it's
whatever
great.
their style is also too,
Yeah,
right? Whatever
yeah.
they want to.
I think it's important to like do your to show off your skill, but be conservative about it. Like wear a gi. I think wearing gi is fine. Like you're not gonna see me wearing a bikini and kicking. Like that's just my
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
it's just like
that's on your
there's
style.
so many like videos online now with like females literally like kicking towards the camera in a bikini, and it's like, yo, people aren't watching that because of your skill. They're trying to see something else. So
Right.
I'm very much against females using this fighting this the respectable sport of martial arts as a means to get views and looks and likes and things like that. I think that's very disrespectful to the sport. Um, if you use it as a means to use your beauty, like as a female, you can be very beautiful, but still respect the sport by not showing off too much of your body while you're kicking. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
Is this something that you talk about with your Taekwondo like friends?
All the time.
You guys
We
have this
all agree.
conversation?
Yeah, yeah. Like we're elite athletes. We're not out there like trying to get views and likes by, kicking in bikinis and but we see it all the time online and we just laugh at it. As elite athletes, fellow Olympians like me, I mean, we just laugh at it. It's like it's a laughing stock for the elite athlete community.
Hmm. So now that I want to hear about your actual Olympic experience. So in 2020, that's when you were in Tokyo, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's when you
actually, I qualified in 2020 and then it was postponed for 2021.
for 20, that was like COVID, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because COVID.
Uh, so tell me what it was like actually competing, like getting to that point in the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, whether it's going through COVID or actually reaching that that ultimate goal of like what you actually wanted to do since you were a little kid.
Yeah, so like after I qualified in 2020, the very next day they ended up shutting down all the tournaments across the world. And I was just very thankful that I was able to get my qualification tournament over with so that I can go into this lockdown for however long it was going to be, qualified for the Olympics. So I was very grateful for that. But, they kept talking about the Olympics are going to be postponed, maybe till November and now for 2021 and maybe it's going to be canceled. So we were like, we don't even know what's going to happen with the Tokyo Olympics coming up. All I know is I qualified and I will be there, God willing, whenever it is. I just hope it's not canceled. So we got went ahead and revealed the news a month later that it was going to be postponed to 2021. And in the meantime, I just kicked it. I actually ended up opening up my business, Believe, Commit, Achieve, during the COVID shutdown in 2020. I couldn't I couldn't stay seated for too long. And so I opened up my own business and it's still up and running in the Woodlands, Texas.
Cool. So when you went to go compete in Tokyo, were I'm assuming there was a million COVID restrictions at that time. Like you had to get
Yeah.
tested a lot, wear masks everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a very like had to wear masks. We couldn't really leave much unless it was for a COVID test, and we took little detours around the city. So yeah, and then we couldn't have friends and family come and watch and visit. Yeah, it was definitely very restrictive, and it wasn't the full Olympic experience. But nonetheless, like it was my Olympic experience. I got there. For me, it wasn't even the part of being there at the Olympics. I think that was the big thing. I think for me, it was qualifying for the Olympics back in 2020, which was the biggest thing for me.
Why does that feel bigger for you than actually competing in it?
I think because it was either the yes or no. It was the yes or no of either I'm an Olympian or not. This is my last chance. Tokyo was my last try. So if it was a
Because of
yes,
age?
yeah, I think age and also like it's just time to move on.
Yeah.
I'd given my whole life to Taekwondo and pursuing the Olympics. At that point, I told myself if I tried for London, I tried for Rio, and if Tokyo wasn't gonna happen, it's time to move on, and that's okay. So, for me, that was the big thing, that it was a yes, and that I was able to keep going on and pursue, my sport in Taekwondo.
Okay. So I would assume, maybe I'm wrong, because I'm not an Olympic athlete, there'd be some sort of social aspect of the Olympics where you meet other athletes, like swimmers or I don't know,
Mm.
anyone else who's competing. did you have that when you were there, or
Oh,
not really
yeah.
because of COVID?
Oh no, no, yeah, absolutely. Like all the Olympic athletes are there together in the Olympic Village, and so you know, I saw Yao Ming. You know, he's there just walking
Huh.
around. You know, you see all the Olympic athletes there, from all sports. So yeah, that's definitely something that was really cool. I got to see, you know, people from different sports, and you know, the best, and yeah, that was great.
Do you actually get to hang out and talk to them, or is everyone just so focused on the competition and when they're doing?
You can totally, yeah. Like all the athletes are super chill and very inviting. You can totally hang out with them. Like I was hanging out as much as I could with, you know, my fellow Puerto Rican athletes from different sports. I was the only representative in the sport of Taekwondo for Puerto Rico. So I was the only Taekwondo athlete there in Team Puerto Rico.
Wow,
And so everyone else that I was with were from different sports. You know, so I was able to just hang out with everyone in the different, you know, in different sports and get to know them more. And it was fun.
cool. Are you still friends with some of those people that
Oh,
you met?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Super fun.
And do they feed you like macro specific foods, or they just have like eat whatever you decide?
Yeah,
How's
they
that
have a huge like a two-story cafeteria, which is ginormous, and like they have all the food that you can imagine, 24 hours. Like the cafeteria is, yeah, it's there's literally escalators in the cafeteria, so
work?
it's huge.
Did it feel like you're on vacation almost, or did it not feel like that?
You can make it feel that way. It's but you know, when there's so much pressure being at the Olympics, it's hard to have that vacation mindset. You know, you still have so much pressure that's going through your mind that you just want to get this over with. Or at least for me, like I just wanted to get it over with. It was something that I worked for my whole life, and I'm like, ah, let's just do this already.
Is there like a stigma or I don't know, a certain feeling that people have, a reputation that certain athletes have, like, oh, the track and field are like this, or the swimmers are like this, or the gymnastics people are like this, like you can't talk to them. Like among different athletes, like within that community.
Um, Not for me, not really. I didn't find that. When you're an Olympian, you have respect for all Olympians. You know, we all understand each other and what it takes to be there. Everyone deserved to be there, you know, because of what they've put in. And so there's a very huge respect, I think, amongst all Olympic athletes, for whatever sport that they do. But yeah, I mean, the only thing that you can tell apart from the athletes is really their physical look, you know, whether they're super tall, super short, super strong, things like that.
Okay, so you can tell like the gymnasts, right? They're gonna
Yeah,
be
like
shorter, like
super
super
short and muscular. So it's like, gymnast walking, basketball players, taekwondo fighters, super tall and skinny, right? Yeah,
That's super cool. So do you keep like what items do you keep that say Olympics on it? Like do you still have like a cool jacket or like a
that I'm wearing
medal or
this
something?
shirt. I was like, what am I gonna wear today? I'm like, I went to the Olympics. Let's promote, you know, what I've done in the past. But yeah, you know, I have this shirt. I didn't really buy too much, to be honest, like for myself when I was there. Um, but I
Don't you have
have
like a Team Puerto
a
Rico or something? But you don't have like a
huh?
Team Puerto Rico
Oh
jacket
yeah.
or something?
I have so much Puerto Rico like team gear that I'm actually like a little bit too I'm just yeah, over it because I have just way too much. I mean, think about it, like if I get gear every single year for the past 11, 12, 13, yeah, 13, 14 years, like you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
have a
yeah.
lot of stuff. So it's like, man, I need to get
100%.
rid of some of this stuff. But as far as like stuff from Tokyo, you know, I was able to get like the bed sheet, not the sheet, but the comforter from the Olympic bed village that I was staying at. So it says like Tokyo on it, and it's really
Wait,
cool.
you took the blankets or the comforter from
Yeah.
your bed, and they
Yeah.
let you keep that?
Yes. All the athletes
That's
can take theirs.
that's wild.
Isn't
I
it
would
cool?
not have.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a random thing. So where do you keep it? You just keep it in a closet
I
somewhere?
keep it in my closet, and then like when people come over and they need a place like I'll put like my blowout bed and like put the comforter there for them to have, and it's like,
Oh
yes,
my God,
yeah,
I'd
you
be
get a
so
to
nervous.
yeah, you get a
Like
Tokyo
I mess it
Olympic.
up.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Maybe you could use some of your gear like obviously you have a ton and you want to get rid of some of it, maybe you could use it for your school to like give away for people who win a competition or like referrals or
That's a
like
good
for
idea.
charity or something. Hey guys,
I don't know if anyone would want it though, but yeah,
are
I
you
could always.
joking? People wouldn't want your Olympic athlete gear. That'd be so
Uh,
freaking cool.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's there though. I don't even know. I think I have it in some bin tucked away. Like it's just there's too much.
So how did you do in the actual competition?
So definitely not my best competition, like at all. I actually think it was my worst competition, like ever in my life. And for
Your
a
whole
few,
life?
yeah, it's like legit, and for several reasons actually. A lot of people don't know this, and I don't talk about it a lot, but there's a couple things, health issues like I was going through that year specifically. First of all, like I went through a horrible concussion in the beginning of 2021, and I wasn't able to train or do anything for like 3 months. And then once I started able to train, I wasn't able to take contact, or like not only was then I able to give contact, but like kicking things, I couldn't even do that hard because I would start getting headaches and migraines.
Yeah.
So it was a battle for me, like trying to train with a concussion and trying to rehab that and recover from that. It was brutal because on the same at the same time, I'm trying to lose weight and cut weight. So like there's times I'm getting headaches from not eating, that would trigger like the concussion headaches. So it was even more amplified. And it was just a brutal experience. And to be honest, like I tell myself and I tell people all the time now that I'm actually just very grateful that I was able to show up, make weight, and compete because there was times, many times, close to, the competition day where I'm like, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to compete or like make weight. I didn't see that day able to happen. So that happening, it was very unfortunate. And then to top it off, I was going through iron deficiencies that I didn't really know about, because of my diet. I didn't end up finding out until after the Olympics of the reason why I was fatiguing and feeling the way I was feeling was because of my diet. Heads up, I was a vegan at the time, and it's okay to be vegan, but I was doing it all wrong, and I wasn't tracking and supplementing the things that I wasn't taking in through my food. So, for example, the iron. Once I found out that I was very, very low, I was like, oh, I guess I should be I started supplementing and I started feeling normal again, in 2022. But for the longest time in 2021, it was the concussion I'm trying to get over. It's the iron deficiency I'm trying to get over. And it was just a lot on my body, a lot of stress. And to be honest, I'm just glad that I was able to show up that day.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you weren't in optimal shape, right? Like you didn't even get to train properly or feel your best.
No, absolutely not. And I didn't know. And you don't know until you're out of that situation because it can be so blurry, um, for so many different reasons. But I just knew that day when I did show up to fight, I fatigued within like 30 seconds of the first round, which is not like me. If anybody sees me
Yeah.
fight or knows, I'm a machine where I can go all 3 rounds and hard. That's one of the things that I'm good at. And so just knowing that was like, the first competition, one of the first competitions, from the COVID shutdown break. So not really knowing exactly how to um, um, manage, number one, a concussion, number two, the iron deficiency. It was literally like my first time going like, oh, let's see how this goes. Um, so it's kind of unfortunate that had to be like, one of my first competitions back to, um, after being off for some time from COVID.
How did how did your nutritionist not catch this? Like if they're supposed
I
to be
wasn't
managed.
working. I wasn't working with a nutritionist, and that was probably my fault. Maybe, a little ego at the time, just thinking like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Don't try and correct me. So yeah, I will take the blame on that one. Is it, I've worked with so many nutritionists, but never working. I'll tell you this though. In 2022, I did end up going to nutritionist because I did feel like my health was at a really bad place, and obviously for obvious reasons. And so when I went after the Olympics in 2022 to a nutritionist and I told him like, yeah, I'm vegan and this is my diet, like he started asking me like, why? What are you really doing this for? And tried to explain it to him, and he's like, this isn't the diet for you. Like and I'm like, who the heck is this guy telling me like what's the diet for me and what's not? I actually was pretty offended by him, to be honest, and I think that's a lot of ego.
Yeah.
And that was in the beginning of 2022. And I went on to be my vegan self, and I kept going, kind of like ignored whatever he told me. And then it wasn't until 2023 where I made a decision and said to myself, I think I'm like kind of killing myself slowly. I think I need to open my mind and be open to consuming other products and than plant-based. And so within that time, I started implementing eggs to my diet, started feeling stronger just with that already. And I felt like I was gaining myself back. I didn't have to supplement any more iron into my diet. I was like, oh, I can just eat whatever now and I don't have to supplement. So yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Our life is a journey that you live and learn.
So is your family vegan too? Were you the only one that was vegan?
It was my ex that was vegan, and I think that encouraged me a lot, obviously, to be vegan. But yeah, he was very much into it, and it was something that I thought, we could do together. And he made really good points about it, and I really liked his mindset on it. And so, I was like, yeah, I want to make a lifestyle change and just be the best. And I felt like in my mind, like that was like, you're just an elite athlete at that point if you're following that diet, um because of the mindset and discipline that it involves with it. And yeah, that was definitely experience. I was vegan for 4 years, so and that was with the time I was with my ex. So after that relationship, I started like opening my mind and saying, wait, why am I really doing this, and am I killing myself slowly? So, yeah, that was
So
the
do you eat meat now? Like
oh
besides
yeah,
eggs? You have
I
like
eat
chicken,
everything,
steak,
anything. I don't like pork, so you won't find me eating pork ever. Yeah, like stuff like
wow,
that.
Puerto Rican blood and no pork.
I know it's very anti-Puerto Rican. But
Oh,
yeah, I love my turkey. I have my turkey sandwiches, have my egg sandwiches. That's my go-to, really. Those are my go-tos. Fish, I love fish.
oh, okay, great. Well, I'm glad you feel better. I guess that's really the most important,
I feel
right?
amazing.
And now you don't have to supplement. You can just eat the things that you
I
want, right?
don't. Yeah, it feels amazing.
So now that you're past your Olympic side of the career, competitive side of the career, now I know you've done a couple different things. So you have your Olympic side, you have your your business in Texas, in Woodlands, Texas, which is like a parkour slash Taekwondo school. Wow. So you didn't do gymnastics while you were training or something, or do
Never.
tricking. Wow.
Never.
So when you think of your identity, do you think of yourself as competitive athlete, as actor, as entrepreneur with your, how do you think of yourself?
That is such a good question. I was actually talking to my friend about this. He doesn't see me as like an Olympian, but I still see myself number one as an Olympian. Um, that's my identity. Number one, I feel like number one, I'm a child of God. That will never change. For me, that's where I find my true identity. My likes and interests may change, but that will never. And then I find my identity obviously with being an Olympian, a high level athlete, because that's what I was for so long. That's what I know to do best, how to have an elite mindset, how to be disciplined, how to achieve your goals, and how to inspire others. I think that's the elite athlete mindset. So that's what I know to do best. And so I'm trying to take that and bring it into the stunt and film world, because it's the same thing with whatever you do. You know, that elite mindset, you can bring it here. I want to be one of the best in this industry. Why not? I do identify also now as a stunt woman. Um, I identify as an entrepreneur with the having my own business. I identify with it all. Like, I understand what it means to be all of those things, so I can identify with them.
Very, very cool. And so do you still manage your martial arts school that you have? Like, do
Yeah.
you go there? Do you just do Zoom meetings with the staff? Like, how do you actually run that?
No, I'm there every day. Whenever I'm gone, like in Atlanta, for example, I'm managing it from afar, and my business partner, he's amazing, and he takes it on himself, and like just he's there every day. If I'm not there, he's there. So he's making sure everything's going well, the classes are running, things like that. And for me, when I am here in Houston, I'm there every single day, and I'm not only like just checking in on the instructors but the parents. um we have business meetings every single day. After this, I'm leaving to go um you know start my business meeting with my partner right after this. And um you know we have our goals for the summer, so we're going to start checking the list off one by one and getting things done this month. But it's just about every single day being there. We love it. I love it. It's not something that I feel forced to do. It's I want to do it. So it's fun for me.
That's awesome. And it's fun you get to travel to do acting gigs as you
I
work your way
love
into the
it.
stuff.
Yeah. I've done a few acting gigs already. But it was cool. I got my last one was for an Academy commercial. It's a sports store. Um and I was able to speak Spanish in that one. So that was really cool for me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Uh, a couple quick like rapid fire questions I want to ask you as we wrap
Okay.
this up. All right, first one is what is your fondest martial arts memory?
That's hard. Martial arts memory as in like competition or just in
It could be
general?
you earning a blue belt, like anything.
Okay. Um, I remember getting my black belt. That was really cool. But honestly, my fondest memory in martial arts was making it to the Olympics. Like, I will never forget that feeling of when I qualified that day. I was in heaven.
Was that like an email you get qualified or you win a competition?
Oh yeah, no, I had 3 fights to fight and I had 3 fights to win. And
So you
after
knew
winning,
right away.
I knew right away after that third fight, I won it. And that's when I'm like, "Woo," and I jumped to my coach's arm, and that was the best feeling.
All right, next one. Have you ever been in a real street fight?
No, no. In school, I've done like, like maybe like some wrestling, like with some dudes, but I think it was all in good fun. No, yeah,
Okay, that's like messing
no,
around with friends.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Next one. Do you read your comments on social media?
Sometimes, yeah, actually, from the most part, I do because it's really entertaining. I mean, I'll get some really funny ones, so it entertains me.
Do you screenshot and save them, or
Oh
do
yeah,
you just
there's a lot of them I do, so I can show like a lot of people like, ha ha ha, look what this person said.
yeah? And people will be mean, but they'll also be very creative and funny sometimes.
It's crazy.
I screenshot mine too. Obviously, I don't have nearly the reach that you do, but I still get like mean comments, and there's some of them are so funny. Like, damn, that's really good. Like,
Yeah.
I almost don't want my friends to see it because then they'll use that roast on me. It'll be really good ammo. So I'm like, oh
Oh shit,
god.
yeah.
All right, next one. Let's see here. Okay, what is something that people don't know about you?
Ooh, something that I'm super open. Like as far as the most personal thing, everyone knows what I do. So I don't know, like what is something that I'm very open. So like everyone knows, like I'm a Christian. I love my faith. I'm an athlete. I'm a stunt woman. I'm a Taekwondo athlete. Oh, maybe they don't know that I actually am really good at other sports like football. I can do basketball. I did soccer all my life. I like to paint. I like to draw. So maybe,
Cool.
maybe y'all don't know that about me.
Yeah, cool. Some of your other hobbies. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, what is your favorite snack?
Ooh, chocolate. Anything chocolate.
White, dark, milk.
Dark. Dark or milk. Yeah.
Mm. What are some red flags in relationships?
um okay. um Gaslighting, and if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So like if the person is like just too perfect, and showing all the perfection, it's probably because they're hiding a lot of the imperfection, and when they go home at night they're probably a different person.
Damn, cynical. Oh my God.
But
Milk her
hey,
out.
I believe I'm very optimistic though, in the fact that there are people that are very, very beautiful and they are who they say they are. I do believe there are people
Mm,
who are who they say they are.
cool. Tell me your favorite place you traveled.
Italy and Korea, maybe Africa, like
Yeah,
Kenya.
one spot. Yeah, one spot.
Oh no,
Yeah,
Italy,
boil it down.
Italy.
Italy. Why Italy? And where in Italy?
Amalfi Coast. It's perfect.
Amalfi Coast. Cool. Never been. That sounds awesome. Um, what's one idea that you think the majority of people get wrong about you?
One idea? Shoot.
Or one thing
Dang.
people get wrong about you?
Well, I think a lot of people think I'm very stuck up and just like and mean. So yeah, I think once people start to get to know me, I'm like,
Okay. Next one. Let's see. What has been the most embarrassing moment of your life so far?
oh wow, geez. I don't know if I would say it here if it's
Cutting
that
deep. You're cutting deep.
embarrassing. Huh?
I said I'm cutting deep now.
I know. I don't know if I would say it. Hey, my performance at the Olympics was very embarrassing for me.
Mm,
So I'll give you
okay.
that one.
Okay. Softball. Got it. All right. Next one. Um, what book do you feel, if you're a reader, what book do you feel like has shaped you the most?
Ooh, I think Draw the Circle by Mark Batterson. That was very iconic for me. And then last one, it's Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. Love that
Mm,
guy.
awesome. And would you rather spend 1 year at the North Pole or 2 years in the Sahara Desert?
Oh, North Pole.
North
Yeah,
Pole. Okay. I'm
desert sounds
surprised you said
cool.
that because you're Puerto Rico. I thought you wanted to be in the heat.
Oh, that sounds I mean, I would love to be in the heat, but if there's AC, the North Pole,
There's no way. Yeah,
you can
yeah.
put some jackets on, make a
Yeah, I
fire.
don't. I don't think there's any heat in the Sahara Desert. I mean,
Exactly.
AC in the Sahara Desert. Thank you so much for being on here.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. It's really fun. If people want to find you, they want to ask a question or reach out to you. How do they find you?
Yeah, follow me on my Instagram at Victoria Stambaugh or on TikTok, Victoria Stambaugh Oli, or I'm starting my YouTube channel. I'm not really into it yet, but I'm trying at Victoria Stambaugh Oli.
Awesome. Well, thank you for listening. My name is Matthew Brenner. I'm with Double Your Dojo, where we help martial arts schools grow their martial arts school organically. That means without relying on ads or website. You still need all that stuff, but without having to rely on any of that and grow organically through schools, daycares, and businesses, which we call the Triangle Codex. So if you are interested, you can email me, Matthew@wyourdojo.com, or find me on Instagram at blackbeltbrenner1. Thank you so much for listening. Bye, guys.